So one thing I wish I knew before building this Geodome, Arctic Acres, their manual is very hard to follow because it's made by Growing Spaces, not by Arctic Acres. And there is quite a few differences, like their fans are mounted in a different panel. They're not mounted in the E panels, they're mounted in one of these other ones. All of the triangles are supposed to get this seam tape all the way around them before they're installed, which isn't mentioned anywhere except for the entry email they send you when you purchase your package. And at the very bottom there's a email link that you click and it takes you to the installation of this stuff. And we got like 12 rolls of this stuff. It's supposed to go on all of the triangles before they're installed, and it goes around every edge. Few things that we didn't know before we started building. We started ripping into the directions, printed them off, and started following them. But they're Growing Spaces instructions, not Arctic Acres. They do not have their own manual. So just something to consider if you're looking at a Growing Spaces compared to an Arctic Acres package. I also noticed the Growing Spaces use metal trim around every panel. Arctic Acres use like a aircraft tape. And I've already noticed this hasn't even been a few months and some of the aircraft tape's already starting to come unglued. So, and we pushed it on really hard on a hot day, cleaned it with rubbing alcohol before we installed it. So another thing that I wish we would have known before we bought the Arctic Acres Geodome. Everything else, I mean, the pond, all this metal, they tell you it doesn't come with it. It doesn't. The sonotube that goes underneath all the beds for the air ventilation, that doesn't come with it either. They tell you that as well. But there is a few things they don't tell you, like these fans, where they're supposed to go. It's in the entry email, but it's nowhere, anywhere in any of the directions. And same with these. I'm kind of mad about these too. These did the same thing. Arctic Acres puts the link in the entry email that you get when you purchase your dome. But there is no instructions on installing these because they're electric fans, whereas Growing Spaces, they open up, right? So the instructions are this triangle opens up with a wax piston. Another thing is a solar panel and air vent fan that blows through the beds. That doesn't come with the dome either. We didn't get it. We contacted them to see if they could ship it out to us. They said they would, they never did. So one of the many things, but the dome is thriving and it's 0 degrees outside. I think it's 15 degrees in here. We have this guy now. It just kicks on when it needs to. We're in the process of making a rock wall here, and we'll put a wood stove on that side. So when we're out here, we can stoke a wood stove, and when that dies down, that'll keep it warm in here. Just on a thermostat. It's about 18 degrees in here, and the sun is just set. And it is October in Canada. Tilapia are growing like weeds. Getting super big, super fast. We got all this stuff done. Got our benches installed. Just need a table now to sit right here. Got everything painted and stained in the last episode. It's looking pretty good, guys. Looking pretty good. Need to find another tree. We want to put another tree right here, I think. Or another banana. We'll see.
Beautiful oak leaves. This is a bur oak tree.
I've heard a story.
Just out here enjoying the nice autumn breeze. Just got these 4 trees planted in behind our fire pit here. Finally getting some trees in our backyard. It's looking good. But look at these fall colors, guys. Check this out. Like, it's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. You got to capture it now because it's, you know what? One strong autumn wind and it will all be gone. All of it. And that's what's nice about like the spruce and the pine. It gives you a little bit more protection in the winter when all the leaves of everything are gone. And then you gotta come out front and check out my tamarack larch tree, my Charlie Brown tree. It is gorgeous and it is turning, but again, this is a soft needle and it will lose its needles in the winter months. But it is a beautiful tree. And our yard is just, it's gorgeous right now. I love this time of year. The beautiful elm tree changing all of its colors. And yes, look at all, that's our poplar and aspen and mixed, kind of mixed boreal forest. All right, and here's my larch tree. Look at the beautiful, like it's green. But check that out. Just gorgeous. Over here you see all the Saskatoon berry bushes. They go like a bright red. Look at that color, that's gorgeous. Someone's been munching on the leaves. These are our chokecherry trees. They are green and then they go like this burgundy, I don't know, what do you call it, like a mahogany color. We have all these little guys up front, all these like spruce and pine that we have planted from little seedlings. They're growing quite nice though. I got a few more there. Little guy. All the little seedlings here from the spruce. Let them grow up and we'll relocate. Old girl's been sitting for a few years. Got the Dodge, pulling the Winnie. Hopefully we make it out okay. Ooh. That bumper moves a bit. So we're in the greenhouse today and it's time to take off some of these cucumbers as they are ready for harvest. So there's one. Let's just get this done here. So many up in here. Well, just out doing our fall cleanup of the garden and all the emptying out the water troughs and changing over the water systems for fall and winter so they don't freeze up. And so yeah, I'm just giving all of our trees a last little good drink. Heading out to the dome and it is I don't know, 8:15, something like that. 6 degrees Celsius. It's getting cold at night. All right, look in here. Ooh, nice and warm. Let's go see what we got here. Temperature is, humidity is about 62% and temperature is sitting about 18 degrees Celsius. That's good. 18 degrees. What is that, like 65 for you Americans? Look at these. And earlier this week we harvested tons of the Tasty Green English cucumbers. I might have a few more in here. Let's see. Those are Tasty Greens. West Coast seeds. You don't have to peel these. Strawberries coming in. lavender, blueberries. All right, this is our tangerine tree and our kumquat up there. If you remember when we planted it, how stressed it was, but like look at all the new growth. It's just beautiful. Alongside the banana, the lemon tree, which is finally bouncing back too with all its new growth. And then all the herbs, which is a work in progress. I want to spread those out amongst this stuff. Some peas coming in, carrots, I gotta thin those guys out. My basil's a little stressed, I moved it, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. Tomato, cherry tomato, we've been eating tomatoes like crazy. The plant is insane. And I just got some herbs, like some of the ones like the lemon balm hidden down in there, and some mints, things that spread. We've been working on doing all the flagstone, and then we'll put pea gravel in between, which will look absolutely gorgeous all the way through here. Great for grounding in the winter. You can come in here. It'll be beautiful. Watermelons. There's one there. So basically, once the pickling cucumbers are done, they're out. I'm gonna throw in potatoes there. So then once our potato harvest from the garden starts to go, we'll have some fresh potatoes in here as well. Keep tomato plants going. I might start some Roma seeds right away here and get a different type of tomato. Thanksgiving weekend, I will get garlic planted in the garden outside, because as you guys know, we plant garlic here in the fall and let it grow or do its thing all winter beneath the soil. And in the winter, or in the midsummer, we'll have some great nice cloves of garlic. If there's anything else you think that I should plant right away here, like I said, potatoes, carrots, peas, cucumbers, we got that covered. We'll have garlic, things like fruit eventually. The outside beds, most of those beds, I'm rotating the crops. Maybe I'll try some sweet potatoes, because I'll have a little bit longer of a growing season in here now. So I'll show you this. It was tiny when I first got it, like half the size, but this is a vanilla orchid, and yes, it is the type of orchid that will eventually produce vanilla beans. So it's my baby. We'll see, come along on the journey, and we'll see how long it takes to produce vanilla beans. And from what I've been reading, the vanilla orchid produces a flower like one day a year when it does get to that point. If you ever do get it to flower, gotta pollinate it, otherwise you'll get nothing. So I called it. It's my baby. Go right. So we've gone and placed all these flagstones all the way through, and now we're just placing the pea gravel in between. And Mike's bringing in a few more pieces here, working on the area where we're gonna do the wood stove. And then we'll have to concrete board this all in and make that all good for a wood stove. Exhaust out here somewhere, haven't figured that out yet. And then this area we'll just like pea gravel in right now for the chairs, because we don't want them sitting all uneven. This we gotta clean off the stone still, but as you can tell, we're just working on filling that in. And then eventually maybe we'll get some like really nice, so eventually we'll get some, maybe some like really nice patio stone to put down there. And that way the chairs sit flat. It's just the flagstone's not completely even, and not incredibly safe for kids or just anybody to sit on like an uneven surface like that. So looks quite sharp all the way through here. take your shoes off in the winter and walk across the stones once we clear off all the pebbles. It'd be nice.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon.
All right, so I've already done a few batches of tomato sauce, but I'm gonna sort through the rest of my tomatoes here that we pulled off our plants right before the last frost. And some of them are ripening up. I gotta take care of them before we get the fruit flies. And yeah, so just sorting through. We are gonna put some green tomatoes in there. We're separating off all the baby cherries into here. I'm gonna cook those up right away here today and blend them and make a nice, beautiful pureed sauce out of those. We got some larger ones here that I'll probably either turn into some salsa or bruschetta or just have some fresh eating tomatoes for the next little bit. And then we'll lay the last green ones out and let them ripen. I find that if you pull your tomatoes, if you can leave the vine attached, great. If not, leave the little stem piece attached. I have done a few different methods. I've put them in my garage on cardboard and just let them hang out there in indirect sunlight in room temperature. And they ripen slowly over a couple weeks. I've also put them on my kitchen counter with more direct sunlight just across cardboard or towels as well. They ripen definitely a lot faster, so I like the method in my garage. It just takes a few weeks to kind of take care of them, and I'm not rushed to do a whole bunch of like tomato sauces or salsas or everything at one time. So, all right, so I got my cherry tomatoes all washed up. I've thrown some olive oil and some garlic and some sea salt. I'm slowly gonna mash and squish these up and then blend them, and we're gonna create a beautiful cherry tomato pasta sauce here. So my husband and I don't really mind the seeds all mixed in when I make like a pureed pasta sauce. The kids don't like it so much, so I actually do this method. It takes a long time, but she doesn't mind helping. Okay, so this can be a process. Like I said, I blend it, and this is after the whole roasting process and stuff. And now I strain through this. I've got myself quite a bit, and I'm still working on more. I'm gonna continue blending and working through it, completely separating off the seeds. Then I'm gonna add a whole bunch more spices, fresh basil, thyme, oregano, some cream, salt, pepper. Ooh, look how dirty my nails are from the garden gross. So I'm still working on straining through and blending. It's a long process, but it's looking good. So now I'm left with this beautiful base, and I am gonna actually add in some cream and fresh basil, thyme, oreganos from our dome, some garlic, some salt and pepper, and make a beautiful tomato soup for supper. As far as the little bit of leftover scrap, which isn't much, this is a fairly small saucepan, or I don't know, maybe a small to medium-sized saucepan. There's some slop down in the center. That will go to the chickens, and they will absolutely love it because it was roasted, and yeah, they're gonna love that. And just remember, like, the green part of the tomatoes, green tomatoes, no good for chickens, in my opinion. I don't give any of that to my chickens, and usually they won't eat it anyways. But red tomatoes, cooked tomatoes, they're perfectly fine. Look at them. They are happy.
Here is not eating any.
He'll go. So we got these guys enjoying the leftover tomato scraps. And we got those guys over there eating carrot tops and squash and pumpkin scraps. So our chickens are well fed, well taken care of. We do feed them in the morning, their normal feed. We want them to eat that. We want them to like scrounge all through. They are pretty free run. They got a huge area. So we want them to go forage and do that. And then in the afternoon, they get quite yappy, and that's when they get the garden scraps and some leftovers, and they eat pretty good though. And in the garden, we're just working on digging up carrots. Got lots of carrots, still got more to do. Yeah. I'm just going to head out to the Geodome and get some fresh herbs for this roasted tomato garlic soup. We've been busy today. I've done a batch of tomato sauce, throwing it in the freezer. Now I've done the soup. We've pulled all the carrots from the garden. I'm still, hey, we'll get those inside tonight sooner or later. Now I'm going out here, getting some herbs from the dome. And what do you think we should grab? Is it warm in here? Wow, okay. I need to get some vents open. 35 degrees in the dome. I never even thought of it today. I was in here early this morning. I fed the fish. It was so cool, but you know what? It's been warm. It is super sunny today, and we've removed the shade cloth because we are well into October here, and wow, is it hot. So anyways, I have opened up the vents up top. Vents are going good on the side. Got our fan always oscillating, so that's good. And I could just, the second I opened up those vents up top, I could just feel the cool air. Oh. Give you a little check at the fish. Must just be the lighting right now. The water looks green, but it actually is not. It's very clear. All right, so fresh herbs. We are gonna go over here to some basil or basil, whatever you wanna call it. The second you cut it, you could just smell. And we're gonna go over here to some, I'm just gonna go with some normal thyme. So I got a little bit of normal thyme, I don't want much, and some oregano. Now I do have Italian oregano in here, and then this one is just a normal basic oregano I'd planted, but I think I'm gonna go with some Italian. All right, so I got some fresh oregano, some regular thyme, not lemon, and some basil. Beautiful sunny day. Whew. It was warm in there. I'm glad I went in when I did and got those fans open. And this may not look like a lot of fresh herbs right here that I'm using, but you know what? For the big pot I have, this will be very, very good. And you know what? Fresh herbs, the flavor that comes off of them is a lot more than your dried. So I've added in some fresh herbs here. And I'll, you know what? I will taste it as I go along and see how it goes. But yeah, looking good. And I mean, you could blend the herbs in, you could dry them, you could do whatever you want. I just chop and plop. Back out to the garden to finish the carrots. And of course, like, you know, my mind's so busy right now. We've just been doing a lot with the chickens, getting them all into the barn, and everything switched over from the old coop to the barn for winter. I've been trying to clean up the garden. I'm thinking garlic in the next couple weeks here. And we got Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so of course tons of cooking and baking. Then I started thinking how 'tis the season. It's sourdough season again. I gotta get my sourdough starter going, pull it out of the fridge, and start cooking that. That would taste lovely tonight with that tomato garlic basil soup that we're making. But I think we'll just do some simple grilled cheese and ham sandwiches, and it's gonna be lovely anyway. We're also going to talk about some mental health here for a second. So we've all been through ruts. We all, you know, go up and down and have our times where we really struggle to get motivated. Sometimes, like being a stay-at-home mom, you lose connection with people sometimes. You don't have that adult connection of every day going to work and having people to talk to. But days like today where I get out, I have my hands in the soil, I am busy, I'm harvesting, I'm cooking, I'm playing with my kids, I'm spending time with our animals. It makes you feel accomplished and just so much better. So please, if you're struggling, get out, go for a walk, just tick one thing off that to-do list, and I promise you, you will feel so much better. All right, guys, it's looking and smelling amazing. And like I said, if you don't like the larger chunks in your soup, you can always blend or use dried herbs as well. But wow. Oh wow. Okay. That's like probably the best tomato soup I've ever had in my life, and I'm not even joking. Like, oh, I've had like homemade diner tomato soups. I've worked in food and beverage for a lot of time in my life. Oh, so good, so good. If only I could send a scent through the camera right now to you guys. Maybe that will be a thing of the future. I don't know. World's crazy these days, but anyways. Life is good, life is good. Washed up for the night, had a shower, feel so much better, got all that garden dirt and stuff off of me, and just enjoying the fall evening. And turned on the light in the chicken coop, give them a little bit extra light for laying eggs. We do find that it does help out with laying, and you give them that extra light, kind of fools them. They think they have their longer days instead of our short winters. So yeah, turn that on, and I'll turn it off in a couple hours. We should put it on a timer like we will the dome, and then we don't have to go out there every night. But I don't mind going out and checking them out anyways.
Beautiful reds, yellows.
Follow along as we build our geodesic greenhouse, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as there will be so many more videos on our greenhouse series build.